Good evening. The gun control debate. I've been wanting to weigh in on this for a long time, and I do on Twitter every day. And it's a matter that's really close to my heart, and it weighs on my mind a lot because of the significance that I think it holds. And I'll get to that soon. First, I want to start off by saying, or rather by giving a little background on myself. I'm 36 years old. I'm never been convicted of a felony. I served in the Navy for 4 years, and I had a top secret security clearance. I can give you the background for a specific reason. Okay? Everyone on the gun control side of the debate has given their reasons and the measures they think should be taken to supposedly make people safer. We debate all the time whether or not that would make people safer, but I'm going to show you specific examples right here and right now why they would turn law-abiding citizens into criminals. Alright, first of all, my background, I'm a law-abiding citizen, and in addition to that, I'm a responsible gun owner. Okay? This is my gun safe. It's quite heavy. It stays in my nightstand, night table, bedside drawer, whatever. And it stays there because I have a beautiful and smart and sweet and wonderful 3-year-old daughter who means the absolute world to me. And I see no reason to keep a firearm in the house for protection if it's not going to be loaded. That would just be stupid. But to answer the questions of all the gun control freaks, yes, if anything ever happened to my daughter, life would not be worth living. Okay? Okay, so I'm a law-abiding citizen. I served in the military. No mental health issues whatsoever. None. So, why would the laws proposed by the gun control crowd bother me? One, because I know they're an absolute smokescreen, and I'll explain that to you as well. But even on the surface, even if we take everything at face value, okay, the first thing, let me load this because it's responsible. I don't want to shoot myself in the leg while making a YouTube video to spread around on Twitter. That would be incredibly stupid. Alright, so empty. Thank you. The first thing that all of these guys, the gun control crowd, tell you they want more background checks because they don't like the gun show loophole. If no one's explained it for you yet, the gun show loophole is a myth. There's no such thing as a gun show loophole. Every dealer at every gun show is still required to perform the same background check as they would if you walked into their store. The reason they say it's a gun show loophole is because people meet at gun shows, and there are no restrictions on private transfers. Okay? That's the first gun sense regulation, and that's the first thing that would turn a law-abiding, responsible gun owner like myself into a criminal. Because my Ruger SR9, and it's a wonderfully easy to use little handgun. It was I did not pass a background check to get this firearm. I didn't even submit to a background check. Oh my God, there's a nut with a gun and he didn't get a background check. How did that happen? My dad gave it to me. That's what's called a private transfer. And that's what you want to empower the United States federal government to get in between. That's really an invasion of privacy. But it'll be worth it if it saves one life. It won't. We're going to get to that. Secondly, after the background check talk, there's more talk about specifically the most common one I hear is the magazine restriction, right? And for some reason, 10 is a magic number. It's a round number, and everybody loves it. This is a 17-round magazine, and I have 3 of them. So, my firearm holds 17 in the mag, 1 in the pipe. That's 18 rounds. And then, now if you notice, it's a semi-automatic pistol, right? So the other fallacy you guys talked about constantly, all of you little gun controlling maniacs, the BS term assault weapon or assault rifle, because technically anything you assault somebody with is an assault weapon, but whatever makes it sound scarier so you can ban it, right? So there you go. Your background check, okay, and your magazine restriction. If you get them passed the way you'd want them, I'm a criminal. How many law-abiding citizens, how many productive members of society that, quite frankly, probably pay your EBT cards, how many of us would you have criminalized and sent to jail because you're under the false impression that you can save people's lives? Just going to let that sink in for a second. You think you can save people's lives. And honestly, in the gun debate, this is the one part of the gun debate that I feel legitimately sorry about, because I know that there are a lot of people who latch onto this that really do want to save lives. Right? They care about people and they want to save lives. And I understand that. And to those people, God bless you. God bless you. Wanting to save lives is a good and noble thing. But number one, it's not realistic. And I'll explain why in a minute. But number two, those of you who aggressively use the imagery of dead children to beat us over the head with, you people are ghouls. You people are absolute ghouls, and you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Michael Moore, Piers Morgan, you grave dancing ghouls, you should be ashamed of yourself. Go right now. Go right now, Piers Morgan. Right now. You. And Michael Moore, you fat piece of filth too. You go into the corner and you punch yourself in the face 10 times. And repeat, I will not dance on children's graves anymore. Now, once you've done that, you'll be allowed back into the discussion. But until then, shut your Second Amendment hating mouths. Shut them. You're idiots, both of you. And both of you hate America and the Constitution, and I will prove it. Or at least to my satisfaction anyway, which is really all that counts, because it's my video. Alright, the next thing I want to get into is the falsehood of even the premise of the debate. The left says it's about guns. The right says it's not about guns. Well, as usual, we're right. But we're even more right than we know. The left says it's about guns when we say it should be about criminals. And the fact is, even police don't, the majority of the time, don't prevent crimes. They don't prevent crimes from happening. They address crimes, which is kind of built into our society and our way of life. Punishment comes after the crime. That's why all your gun chasing is really stupid, it's unconstitutional, and frankly, it's un-American. Okay? You want to come after people like me who didn't pass a background check, which I didn't take one. My dad gave me the gun. I guarantee I pass any background check I submit to. I don't really care. But you know full well that what you want isn't more background checks. You want less guns. And eventually you want no guns. And everybody knows this. Feinstein has been caught saying if she could snatch everybody's guns away, she absolutely would. And Michael Moore is an America-hating fat fool. America-hating? Yes, absolutely. He said on Piers Morgan last year, well, it's not guns that kill people. It's Americans with guns that kill people. You've been hinting around to it ever since Fahrenheit 9/11 and probably before that. Bowling for Columbine. Even early in your career, it's never the guns you had a problem with. It's America. We're ashamed of you. We're ashamed of you. And I could talk about Michael Moore for another 2 hours, but I'm not gonna. I want to talk about the basic, and this is where I'm going to finish out because this is the most important. This is the cornerstone of the entire debate. It was not about guns, even for the left. You've heard time after time our own president decry the fact that he could get more done if it weren't for that silly Congress and their rules and the Constitution. Boy, they wrote that to where I can't do what I want, and my pen and my phone are just, there's plenty I can do, but quite, if they just wouldn't have made Congress and the Constitution the way they had, I'd really be able to do a lot more for you guys. The president himself has shown an obvious disdain for the Constitution. Piers Morgan, time after time, the little ratbag comes into our country, makes himself a few dollars on a cable TV show that like 10 or 12 people watched. And the only reason we watched, this is big time, you need to know this. The only reason that I watched Piers Morgan is during the gun debates, I enjoyed seeing the geniuses of the Second Amendment protectors. Dana Lash, Ted Nugent, there are so many more. I'm drawing a blank right now, but there are tons. These people that stood up to Piers Morgan time and time again and made him look like a complete fool time and time again because he kind of was. That's the only reason Piers Morgan lasted as long as he did. He was the uber douche. So, back to my original point. I know I strayed off a little bit. It was never about guns, even for the left. Okay? They've shown a disdain for the Constitution. But I've already laid that out for you. They just don't like it. Freedom of speech, it's okay until I can't make you guys shut up while I'm robbing you blind. So Harry Reid proposes, him and his buddies, that we actually, essentially, an amendment to the Constitution to limit free speech. So if you're going to attack the Bill of Rights, what would you attack? Right? When you attack anything, strategically you think, where's the weak point? Where can I do the most damage? Well, let's go through the Bill of Rights, right? Free speech? That's kind of tough to attack, even though Harry Reid is trying. The illegal search and seizure. Nobody thinks the police ought to be busting your house. I mean, you can't even convince Democrats of that. But the Second Amendment. Guns. Guns are scary. If the left perceive a weakness in the Bill of Rights, I guarantee you it's the Second Amendment. Because guns are scary. Eric Holder himself said that he wants to brainwash. Yes, brainwash. Think about that for 2 seconds. Brainwash. He wants to brainwash people into thinking differently about guns. What has been going on? Every time you have a shooting, we've got to do something about guns. We've got to do something about guns. Moms demand Bloomberg's money. $50 million buys a lot of PR. And constantly demonizing guns. Demonizing inanimate objects. Because we don't like punishing criminals. Now think about that for a second. Eric Holder wants to brainwash people into thinking of guns as not good. And at the same time, he's protecting criminals. The Obama administration's let, 30-something thousand felons out of jail the past few months or so? A lot of them illegal immigrants. How do we punish crime if we don't punish criminals? You don't want murders, but you don't want to punish murderers. Well, we can go through at another time and just list all the illegal aliens that have come to our country and committed crimes, heinous crimes, and then never suffered any punishment for it. They do 2 or 3 drunk driving stops, and they keep letting them go. Not even deport them, just letting them go. And then sooner or later they kill somebody, right? If I could just save one life. I'm going to call bullshit, Mr. President. I'm going to call bullshit. So anyway, the Second Amendment is the perceived weak point in the Bill of Rights by the left. And that's why they attack it constantly, furiously, and with the exact Alinsky Holder brainwashing that Bloomberg's money is financing through Shannon Watts. God, this woman is a ghoul. Quoting Bible verses tonight. Quoting Bible verses. And Chris Lash, I saw a conversation going on with some of those guys tonight on Twitter. They actually pointed out that Shannon Watts quoted a Bible verse about not letting harm come to your neighbors, as if that would advance her gun snatching narrative, not knowing that the second half of that Bible verse means that you protect, actually stated that you protect your neighbors by not, by basically going over there to whoop ass. Somebody comes to attack them, you defend them. And I don't know how you do that with a gun-free zone. I'm not going to get into the whole gun-free zone because I'm not going to advocate for, saying yes, we should absolutely make an effort to bring more guns into schools. I don't know about all that, but I do know this. Okay, when you have a Second Amendment that's clearly written, and it's in English, folks. There's no need to interpret. It's in English. It says exactly what it says. It means exactly what it means. There's never any doubt about it. But, hey, we're still going to have to fight. And just remember, the stakes of this fight are not gun rights. They are, but they aren't. Because, for me, I believe in the Second Amendment. I own this pistol. I own a shotgun. I'm building an AR-15 with Bart. I go out in my backyard. I live kind of in the sticks, so I can just shoot in my backyard. And if there's ever a milk jug invasion, I got this handled. We got this. But anyway, just remember, this is not about guns. Not even for the people who won't admit that they hate them. The left, I believe, perceives the Second Amendment as the weak point in the Bill of Rights. And once they get a foothold in one of them, remember Bruce Willis said sometime last year they were trying to get him on board this whole gun control train because you can always depend on Hollywood, right? Well, Bruce, God bless you, Bruce wasn't having it. He sat there and he looked him straight in the eye and he says, you can't think you can start picking apart at the Bill of Rights, at one amendment in the Bill of Rights without thinking the whole thing will come undone. And Bruce Willis, I knew there was a reason Die Hard was my favorite movies of all time. God bless you, John McClane. Anyway, I think I've tied up all the points that I wanted to. I think it's all in a nice little bow. If it's not, there are probably only 2 or 3 people that are going to watch this thing anyway, because I've droned on for way longer than I planned. But if anybody actually does watch this, and you feel like you need to pick it apart or cuss me out or tell me I didn't comb my hair right, my hair is. That's the barber's fault. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I feel like I tied up all the points that I wanted to, and everything's got a nice, neat little bow on it. But if I didn't, hey, just say something. Hit me up on Twitter at Gordon Shuckrow, or on the YouTube deal, and let's put ideas together. And if you're one of the gun control freaks and you really do think that taking guns away would save lives, I'm here to tell you it won't. September 11th, 2001, 18 men killed over 3,000 people with a couple of box cutters. Timothy McVeigh took some fertilizer and blew up a federal building. Even just last week, the little knothead kids going around, there's a little horn dog who can't get a date. He stabbed to death his first 3 victims. And on the same day that the Newtown, Connecticut shooting was taking place, there was a school in China where 20-something kids got stabbed to death. So, the idea that you want to stop children from being killed, that's noble. Okay? But don't come at me like a ghoul saying you don't want to stop kids from getting killed. You can. You can stop everybody from getting killed. Murdered, anyway. But to do it, do you know what you'd have to do? To stop murders from happening, you'd have to lock everybody up. No more rights for anybody. No more walks out at 11:30 at night to smoke a cigarette. No fireworks on July the 4th. No going out for pizza. No taking your dog out for a walk. Just lock everybody up. Murders will stop. You have to take these stupid arguments to their only logical conclusions. People want to regulate guns. It's not a fact. It's a lie. The only logical extension of those policies is to completely take away guns from law-abiding citizens and criminals alike, because where do the criminals get them from? The illegal ones, they steal them from us. And especially with douchebag publications like the New York newspaper that published all the gun owners in New York and their addresses. Come on. If you don't want illegal guns, don't show all the horrible criminals where the gun owners are. Anyway, I've rambled on for long enough. Just remember, it's not just an attack on your gun ownership rights. It's an attack on the entire Bill of Rights. Because if you think there's a single one in there that they want to let you have, you're fooling yourself. They don't. They don't. The Obama administration has shown time and time again that whatever rules that the rest of society plays by, they don't play by those. He'll use any government agency to harass and intimidate and even imprison any political enemy that he can get away with. So, plenty to think about. You guys have a good night, okay? See you tomorrow.